Hello, welcome to Self-Discovery TV. My name is Kelly Sage and this is interviews with inspirational authors, and today I have a special guest, Suzanne Waldron. Hi Suzanne.
Hello. Hello.
And Suzanne is the author of A Flourishing Mind. She's a behavioural specialist, a behavioural change specialist.
That's right.
Let me get the words right. And also a professional international speaker as well. Now we're at the boat shed in South Perth. So there's a little bit of noise going on, but we've got great atmosphere. We just finished the Self-Discovery Network and we had Suzanne speak for us to inspire us, and it was very heartfelt and I feel like I've had a shift. And you talked about the 3 keys, and there's all these little secrets that she has, which is magic.
Secrets I tell everybody.
Yeah, that's it. So welcome Suzanne, and yeah, we wanted to focus on today about your story and how you became an author. So first of all, what inspired you to write the book and come up with this name?
Yeah, it's a good question. Well, I have done a lot of work and I've done a lot of research on what it takes to shift, to change our behaviour, to change the way we are. And I had had such adversity in my life as a young person, and now being in a very good place, a happy place, a safe place, a place where I have all the things I want, both emotionally and materialistically, that it was really time to be able to share that message, that story.
In that journey.
And the book has truly been written for other people.
Yes.
And some people even say to me, oh, it must have been very cathartic, it must have been really clearing for you. And whilst it may have been on some unconscious level, I had already done all of that clearing and the work that I need to do for myself. This was truly written for other people.
Well, it's also when I first meet you, you are literally have this beautiful aura. It's like you literally are vibrating this flourishing. You know, you were telling the story. Can you repeat the story about how you came up with this? Because you are, I can't explain. I don't normally say that to someone, but you do have a flourishing mind, and that's what you were like, a beautiful flower.
It must have been so right to choose that. Well, I was in a workshop really, and the workshop was all about eudaimonia, which is a word I'd never heard of. And so, bravely asked the question, what does that mean?
Yeah.
Everyone else was like, thank goodness for that, because they didn't know. And the lady said it is back from Aristotle, and Aristotle had really focused on eudaimonia, meaning the art of human flourishing. And as soon as she said the word flourishing, I just kept getting this hit of, it really resonates with me.
That's my word, isn't it? So there's always a word that you sort of great.
Yeah, absolutely. And then that week, everybody kept using this word flourishing, and people had actually even referred to me as flourishing, or wanting my business to flourish. And so it was just really interesting. I already had the word mind, because I have studied lots of...
it's like about changing the mindset, about changing your reality and things like that.
It's all about the neurological pathways and understanding how we have control over our neurons and all of the neuroplasticity and all the work we do around that. So new mind was in there that I hadn't found the doing word or the descriptive word, and then flourishing came up, and that was it. I knew it would be a flourishing mind.
And then you've got the workshops to match that and to teach people how to actually, because that's what people want. We're all in our negative, we're putting up with our challenges, and we can't see the light sometimes. And so is there like tools and tips and things in this book that can give us the answers to shift the mindset?
Good question. Well, I'll tell you the feedback I've got, actually, because it's about other people's perception of what they've learned. People have really started to question how they deal with difficult situations and relationships. By reading the book, they question it, and then they realise there's other ways of looking at circumstances that are adverse, and it doesn't have to be as negative. It can reduce the negative impact. We can have a minimalised negative impact. So people who've read the book have found out some stuff about themselves simply by reflecting their own experiences. It's like a mirror.
But also, you're right, but also you talk about the power of choice, and people don't realise that when things are going wrong or when they're in a dark place, that they do have a choice to go to whatever pathway they want to choose, isn't it? What was one of your greatest challenges in your life that maybe reflects this journey?
Well, in the book, I explore a time where I did make a choice. I made a decision, and the decision was to stay away from an incredibly adverse situation. When I was 15 years old, I decided to become homeless. And people say, oh, that's not a choice. But it is, because you're choosing to be away from something. You're choosing not to be in a situation, as well as, putting yourself in perhaps what would be seen as an unsafe situation. The choice for me was one of independence and freedom, and being able to have what I wanted for my life and not be dictated by other people.
And how old were you then?
15.
And was that in the UK?
Yes. Yeah.
Suzanne comes from the UK.
Yeah.
And when did you move into Australia?
We moved here in 97. I lived in Melbourne for a few years, and then I've been in Perth since 99. My husband and I have been together 20 years next year.
So have I.
This is weird when I say
incredible.
it. It doesn't seem like it should be 20 years, but we have.
It's like a lifetime.
Yeah.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah. I was about to say I feel like I should be 40 when I said I'm nearly 40.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think I've caught up with my own age.
No, you still look 15.
Yeah, I do. I still look 15.
And so how is the book taking you now on a journey? Because you find that when you publish a book, I know publishing my own book, Discovering Life Purpose, is that the book starts to take you on the journey.
Yes.
And it starts to have it's like it creates an energy around it, and it starts to become alive.
Yes.
And it's like, wow, it opens up new doorways, it brings you different customers and clients and workshops. And have you done much travelling and book signings anywhere?
Yes, so I as Kelly mentioned, I'm a professional speaker, and I'm a coach, so I do work one-on-one with people. But the professional speaking side of things has taken me to America, and I'm going to Hawaii next year for speaking. I speak all around Australia, and the book comes with me. But the wonderful thing is that the book also goes to places I've never been. So people buy it from all around the world, and I've seen it in Russia. I've never been to Russia.
Wow. So the piece of you all over the world.
They take selfies with it and then send me pictures of. So the book has been to places that I haven't, and it feels like it literally has its own life and its own travel schedule.
Yeah.
And I'm not always involved in that.
Yeah. Isn't that magic?
I just love it.
Yes.
I love it.
And have you written another book that's a follow-up or before this? Is this the first one only?
That's my first book, and I have quite a few in the wings. Though I'm giving this its life and its whole exposure before I go and start writing anything else. So
because you have to. Yes, it's true, because you have to continue with the message.
Yes.
Of what this book represents to you, and then how this can transform other people, doesn't it?
And allow it to do its full work. And I know it will be there for the rest of my life.
Yes.
Though 6 months after it's been launched isn't the right time for me to.
But it's like it creates like a domino effect that you can let go of, and then, like you're saying, then you can focus on the next project.
Absolutely.
So that's magic. And and to feel published, and also even just to share the difference between, like, obviously you were thinking about this project for how long before you actually got it published?
Well, I got a publisher a week after starting to think about it.
Really?
It
Is
just
that not
happened.
meant to be?
Yeah, it did just happen. And then I wrote it in 5 days, and then it took a year to do. It's actually the editing and the rewriting and the really thinking about, have I put that in the right form, and does that make sense? So, because I did my master's degree at the same time as writing my book, and I moved house, and my dad died, and I won a court case.
Wow.
And I built my own business, tripled my income, and I was working full-time with another business as well. That all happened in 18 months.
Wow.
And the book was happening at the same time. So it actually took a bit of a back seat.
Yes.
So 5 days of writing it and then a year of producing it. And I was just tinkering with it.
Yes.
So
I always say to people, it does the actual writing of it. It's the easy part, the editing, and then the marketing, and that's another journey in itself, isn't it?
5,600 changes to the edits. It took me longer to edit than it did to write.
Yeah, and I was the same. So that's incredible.
My wrist really hurt.
Yeah, that's it. And okay, so if people want to contact you and see you, how do they get in touch with you for? Is it a speaking engagement? Can they, hire you for that, or do you do workshops, one-on-ones? Can you tell us about that? Or even just mention your website to people?
Yeah, of course, yep. So you can see everything I do on www.suzannewaldron.com. That has everything on it. And basically I either do thousands or hundreds of people, speaking with them, or I work very intimately one-on-one. So I have a master's degree in coaching and neurolinguistics. So I work very deeply and very quickly with people to shift the way they think about themselves, so they can have more self-efficacy.
Yeah.
So really that's the two most major things you can do with me. I do have a retreat that happens every year as well, the Inner Leadership Retreat.
Beautiful.
And it's 7 days away down south of Perth, WA.
Wow.
So
that's magic.
But that's all on the website, and there's free videos and
so
free
when you
things
coach
on
people, what kind of challenges would they have to have? I mean, do you coach leaders, people around public speaking? We all have fears of public speaking.
It's so interesting, because people say they have a fear of public speaking. they actually don't. They have a fear of judgment.
Right.
So it's not the fear of the activity, it's the fear of the perception of the activity.
Yes, or being ridiculed.
Or being ridiculed, yeah. So from my perspective, when I work one-on-one with people, they're usually transitioning. So it could be career, personal life, relationships, transitioning even how they think or about themselves, like who are they as their roles change in life. So I do work predominantly with people in leadership roles, whether that's high-level self-leadership or leadership in terms of corporate business. Anyone who's interested in uncovering the transition and being able to let go of anything that's getting in their way.
Right. And with organisations and groups, what kind of people, or what's your perfect customers for speaking engagements?
Yes, so I work in many different ways, and that can be through corporate organisations. So corporate events are usually really well received. I have a few different topics that work really well for business and for organisational change. I do some work with professional development groups as well. Because I'm trained in changing the way people think, I'm an educator and I have done a hell of a lot of work with education. So I shift people in the speaking. And so people quite often want to use me for professional development type scenarios as well.
And you really do speak from the heart. Our theme today was speaking from the heart. And you really do, and you can feel that. And everyone, when you capture the audience and everyone listened, and it was beautiful. It was just magical. So thank you. Really appreciate it.
I really felt that too. Yeah.
And where can we get a copy of the book? Is it on Amazon or
it's on
Amazon.
Your website? For some reason, Amazon.com.au only does ebooks. So
really?
The best place to get it from is my website. But if you do want to go, you can go to Book Depository and Amazon generally.
Or maybe betterlifebookstore.com.au will hold a couple for you as well.
There's plenty of places. But yes, you can get it from most
beautiful
public places. Yeah.
So thank you so much, Suzanne. We wish you well.
Thank you.
And we look forward to maybe the next book that's published, and we'll get you back on here and share your message with everyone.
Lovely,
so
thank
appreciate
you.
It. Thank you.
Best wishes.